Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jamie Welch. I am doing a presentation on eating disorders from the DSM-5 for my abnormal psych class, which I'm really excited about. And here's the thing, I've been an addict my entire life, like since I was a very small child. And so my story really starts out with eating disorders and then going into drug use later. And so I have experienced having an eating disorder my entire life. I've been a binge eater and bulimic. And so in the DSM-5, there are several diagnoses of eating disorders, such as, we have pica, rumination disorder, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. We have anorexia nervosa, and bulimia nervosa, and then we have binge eating disorder. I may be missing one, but really the one I really want to talk about tonight is going to be bulimia, because it's something that I personally have experience on and understand in great detail. And so I'm going to read to you some of the DSM-5 criteria so that you get kind of an understanding of what bulimia is about. And so bulimia nervosa is recurrent episodes of binge eating. An episode of binge eating is characterized by both one and two, one being eating in discrete period of time. So that's like within a 2-hour period, but it's overeating. It's eating much more than you had intended to eat during that period of time, and much more than an individual in your same size circumstance would in that same similar circumstances would eat. And number two, a lack of control over eating during these episodes, feeling that one cannot stop eating or control how much is going in. And so, and B is a reoccurrent, inappropriate, compensatory behavior to prevent weight gain, such as self-induced vomiting, misuse of laxative, diuretics or other medications, fasting, or excessive exercise. This is like hours on end throughout the day. Binge eating and inappropriate compensatory behavior both occur on average at least once a week for 3 months. Self-evaluation is unduly influenced by body shape and weight. And that's really talking about how somebody with this disease is not able to look at themselves in a way that is realistic or logical, right? So whatever they see, it is distorted by quite a bit, and they're going to see a much bigger person, a much ickier or yucky person in their own mind than the average person would see as they walk by them. And I know that I have absolutely dealt with body dysmorphia my entire life from a very small child. Like my earliest times of recollection of food disorder is being like 4 or 5 years old, being at a birthday party, eating cake until I vomited, and then going back for more. Like I just couldn't stop. And I stood right by the cake the entire time. Like that was the only place, and my brain just wouldn't stop. Other kids were playing. I wanted to be a part of that, and I couldn't stop. So just having this particular disorder from an early age, I've really, really struggled with identity and creating friendships and connections and feeling worthy of love, of being a part of relationships, meaningful friendships, even just relationships in general, not even romantic ones, So just feeling like very preoccupied with food, and I could not stop. And so what is binge eating? Binge eating involves two key features. So it's eating very large amounts of food within a relatively short period of time and feeling a sense of loss of control while eating. Like cannot stop myself. Once I start, cannot stop. And I'm still this way today. If I put flour or sugar in my body, I cannot stop. Like you give me a baked good and I will eat them all. You go to do a slice of cake and I'm going to eat the whole cake. Like it's just something that I cannot control. And although I want to stop and I know what I'm doing is wrong and people are disgusted, like I can't. I just can't. And so some of the other things that go with this excessive eating is vomiting. So for me, that is absolutely a part of it. And it's been a struggle for a really long time. I'm currently in remission and have been since January 25th of this year. But part of what goes on with this particular eating disorder is vomiting, misuse of laxatives, fasting. I mean, all of that. And I've done that. Excessive exercise, use of illicit drugs. Oftentimes, this particular disorder goes hand in hand and is a co-occurring disorder. I'm also a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. It is whatever I do in absolute excess. And let me tell you, like, it is such a struggle to not be able to shut down. I want to enjoy the moment, be a part of relationships, have connection with other humans. And it's so difficult sometimes because I'm so preoccupied with this compulsion to eat, compulsion to use, compulsion to shop. Like, I, I just, anything I do, I have to really watch out because I will do it in excess. So, what are some of the warning signs? So, having awareness about bulimia and its warning signs and symptoms can make a really big difference in the severity and the duration of the illness. And seeking help is one of the signs um, that you're really ready for something different. It's so hard to seek for help because even in other, like I said, I'm a recovering addict. Even in those 12-step rooms, it is hard to explain that I also have this eating disorder that I cannot control as long as I'm putting certain foods into my body. And so um, it's been a really big struggle. But some of the physical signs are frequent changes in weight, weight loss, weight gains. This is me. This is me in 2007. I was 270 pounds by this time, and just really feeling like a troll. I mean, I just hated myself so much. It was so awful, you guys. And so I would binge and eat and binge and purge and binge and purge. And it's one of those things that once I eat it, I have like all of a sudden the switch goes like, and I have to get it out of my body as soon as possible. Like I have to get to a bathroom, and the need to worry about social relationships or social norms. Most people don't go to a bathroom and vomit, and when people vomit in a bathroom, other people are concerned, and we have to talk about it. And as a bulimic, like I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to have a conversation. I'm very like it's not something we're going to discuss, but my need to get it out of my body goes way above those social norm needs because it has to go. Not only am I feeling ill, but I'm feeling disgusting. Like there's something innately wrong with me. I'm just so messed up, right? And so I've got to get the poison out of my body. And I'm also making room for more binge eating, and I cannot control that. Signs of damage due to vomiting would be swelling around the cheeks, jaws, uh, capu- uh, those little blood vessel things breaking around your eyes. I mean, I've had that happen so many times, and I look like I'm beat up afterwards. And it's so embarrassing. Something you thought you could get out really quick and then come to find out you can't. It's devastating when you walk out of the bathroom and people know something's terribly wrong with you. And yet it's not enough to stop. So feeling bloated, constipation developing, intolerances to food, loss of menstrual periods, fainting, dizziness, and a lot of that too comes with restrictions, behavioral signs, evidence of binge eating. One of the things that I always get is a callus on the top of my hand right here from where my teeth are grinding up against there. And that was always really like, I was always scared that somebody was going to notice. And so uh, I would eat in private, vomit in private. Like all of those are definite behavioral signs that there's probably something terribly wrong. And so, um, dieting, constantly trying some new diet that was going to fix me or save me. Erratic behavior, self-harm comes along with these substance use disorders, suicide attempts, some psychological signs, preoccupation with eating, food, body shape, and weight. It is constantly on my mind. Now, in this picture I showed you, I was 270 pounds. I still see that woman every single day in the mirror, and it's something that I will probably be working towards remission in for the rest of my life. But I'm sitting at 152 pounds, and I see this woman, and she's everywhere. She goes everywhere with me, and she wants to eat everything and be super destructive. And there's a lot of self harm that goes into being a bulimic, and a lot of self hatred. And so, some of the risks that are associated with this are really incredible, along with this total distortion of reality when it comes to my body image and who I am as a human being and what my value is. There's also chronic sore throats, indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, inflammation, and rupture of the esophagus and stomach. Like when you vomit as much as a person who's a bulimic vomits, I mean, just think about everything you have to do to get, uh, a burger, a fry, a shake, a cake, all out of you after, one binge session in an evening. Chips, soda, candy, more ice cream. Like, it takes a lot, okay? And so there's a lot of damage that can be done to your body. Chronic and irregular bowel movements, constipation, diarrhea, um, stomach and intestinal ulcers. It also rots away your teeth, your gum lining. I know of humans that I love and adore who have had to have reconstructive gum grafts to protect their teeth because their disease got so bad. And so getting help is really a sign of strength. And I want you to know there's help out there. Okay. There are so many programs, whether it be outpatient programs to teach us how to have a relationship with food that is much different, and really to focus on the relationships in our lives and the goals in our lives, and to focus on our higher power. I choose to do a 12-step program. 12-step programs work for me. So it's a spiritual program, not a religious program, where we work around the principles. We work to live the principles of our recovery in our life: open-minded, willingness, honesty. With these we'll be well on our way, and that's what our readings say. And it is so true. So I choose to do Food Addicts and Recovery Anonymous um, for my relapse prevention program. It's my spiritual program to show me a new way of life. And I have a sponsor. I work steps around, the 12 steps of FA. And it's really teaching me how to connect with my higher power on a daily basis and to relieve the obsession, because it just is so constant, whether I see something, hear something, smell something, and I need food to live, and it doesn't stop. When I give up drugs, you don't need meth to live. So I mean, I feel like that's probably a good thing, because I probably couldn't say no. So today, I weigh and measure my food. I have a sponsor. We go over what I'm going to eat almost every day. We talk about what I'm going to do that day, where my disease is showing up. This is not, I didn't wake up one day and go, I can't wait to be, 700 pounds in my head and have the obsession and the compulsion for more and more and more. This is a disease of negativity, and it's constantly telling me how ugly I am, how awful I am, how I'll never be worth anything because I'm not this way or that way. And so what I'm finding is my disease, my addict, is a liar. So 12-step programs are teaching me that that is not the truth. The truth is I can eat abstinently by weighing and measuring my food along with balancing my life. So there's also other programs that are, I may have said it, outpatient programs and things like that. So that are really effective. But for me, I'm a 12-step woman. So, and that's who I'll probably continue to always be and work that spiritual program. So thank you much. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. I hope that I was able to give you a little tidbit of what it's like for somebody with this particular disorder. And if not, that's okay. Maybe my story doesn't sound like your story. That doesn't mean that you don't have your own um, needs, your own addiction issues, whether it be really around compulsive behaviors, thoughts, whatever that may be. But there's a program out there for you. I promise you. So again, this is Jamie, Warner Pacific, Abnormal Psych, and we're talking about eating disorders. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.